Today, I'm going to talk about 3 things that I add into every project I make. Let's get into it. All right, for this example, I went into the project I've been doing my tutorials in lately, which is this idle clicker game, but it's not really entirely relevant for this tutorial. So, the 3 things that I bring into every project are 2 add-ons and a class, or a concept of a class, I guess I'll say. So first, I have the add-on Audio Manager, which has a bunch of information related to how audio is configured. Really, the saving grace, like my pride and joy of this add-on that I made, is in the Audio Manager script itself. It has the capacity, and I won't go into in great detail for this, what it does, how it works. But more the point is it looks through my audio server and it detects all the buses that I've set up on the audio bus. So in this case, there's a master, music, sound effects, ambiance, and UI buses for audio. This is something I set up after I added these into the project because before everything was just on the master bus. So each unique source of sound gets added onto its specific bus. So it detects all the different buses, and then for each bus, it creates a unique volume slider and adds that into the audio bar array, which is also part of this add-on. So this volume slider, it's obviously slidable, and it updates based on what volume it's set to when it loads in, and then it will be easily adjustable. And it also has a mute button. So you can see here. So what I did actually for the project, there's a generic version of this, which is in the add-on, which is here, the horizontal volume bar is what I grabbed. There's also a vertical variant. But all I did is I made a duplicate version of this basic volume bar horizontal, and then I saved this version to my project folder and overwrote a bunch of the information so that it fit with the theme of the project, basically. So stylistically, it looks good. I did the same with the audio control panel. So I added the bar array, and there's an override variable for the volume bar. If I wanted the default, I could do the default. I did the same thing with the control panel. I made a new copy of it that I changed to fit the style of the UI for this game. And I also have here the plugin script. Obviously, I won't go into how to write a plugin, an add-on in this, but the reason it's an add-on, the reason it's useful, I'm calling the script IH Audio Manager. That's iHeart Audio Manager. And I'm writing a tool script that's an extension of the add-on utility, which I'll also explain, which defines a global variable with a script that is called for it. So in this case, it's the audio manager I just showed that collects the data on all the different audio buses and then controls their volume, and it has signals on it, so it's listening for those changes. If we jump back in here, or I'm sorry, it's not signals, it's function calls. But the point is, it's an auto-loaded script. And this iHeart Audio Manager.gd, the add-on utility, is defining it. And this includes also some icons for showing volume, muting, and unmuting, but in this project, I'm not using them, but I still bring it in. And the other thing that I'm bringing in that's an add-on is the save and load. So this one's a little shorter and sweeter. Here, I'm also defining a auto load of the iHeart save load, and that's calling the save load globals. So this script, essentially what it does is it allows you to register data that you want to save, data that maybe you want to save when the game quits, and it handles game quitting, it handles game data resetting, and It handles reading and writing to save files. And there's a few other functions that are missing from this copy of it that I need to bring in. I have some functions for converting a JSON stored save data to a vector3 or a color vector4 via text parsing. Like, just in general, like every project I do, I'm bringing in this auto load, I'm bringing in the audio manager, I'm bringing in these other two scripts that I'll go into in a second, and I'm trying to improve on them with every use. I want to save time by like having the things that I've already figured out how to do ready to go. And when I bring these in and I set in the project settings, I enable the plugin. It's also adding the globals automatically, the audio manager and the iHeart save load. These are set automatically as part of the plugin. That's kind of the benefit for me of doing it this way, is that I don't have to manage that. And in this example, there's just one for each. So it's like, okay, you could have just added the global instead of adding the plugin. But I would have had to identify which script each time is the global, which can get annoying, especially in Audio Manager where there's a lot of scripts here. And also it means that, I mean, it's shareable and just generally it's self-managing. So if I took it out, it would remove it too. It's just handy. I like doing it with add-ons. So the other script here I mentioned is the add-on utility. This is what used to be in every of the definition files for those globals. But I realized since I'm writing the same thing every time, I should just write a generic class for it and bring that in. So add-on utility says when we're entering the tree, add the auto load singleton, name, path, and then when we exit tree, we remove it. I could change this to, instead of being a string path, maybe an array of paths with associated names, like a dictionary. That could have been clever. That's probably something I'll add in the future, and then that will go into all my future ones. I also bring in for this script templates. So this is the third, I would say, critical thing, how I got to the number 3 things. So I have an audio manager, a save manager, so I can easily set up volume control for my games. I can easily set up saving and loading data in my games. And then script templates as a concept, I guess I would say. So for add-on, or I don't know if you know how to set up script templates. And I can show in a separate video sometime if you're interested how to do that. It's really, really simple. It's basically just the folder structure. But I wrote an add-on utility extension here that when I'm making a new add-on utility, if I were writing a new auto load, I could call this as the starting script template. And then this is what the file looks like. This is how it comes in. And then I can edit it just the way if you do like a new script, we can show an example. If I do attach script, there's the template option here. You can do no default and it'll say process and ready. And in this case, if we're changing the type, add-on utility, then we get this extension. So here, this new script on margin container will start like this. Yeah, and then the other thing I already briefly mentioned is enhanced button and enhanced panel. So enhanced button is an extension of button that doesn't really do anything too crazy or unique. It just pre-connects pressed to a function called onPressed and mouse entered to a function called onHovered. And what those do is it allows me to set a sound effect when you're hovering a button, when you're pressing a button, which isn't a built-in thing in Godot. You'd have to explicitly do it per button, but with enhanced button, I can set it for all of them at the same time. I also have had variants in the past where I took an export variable if I wanted a custom sound effect. This explicitly calling the global signals is something I wrote in after I imported it for this example. So global signals is a script that I made in this project, although it's something that I might keep going forward because it's very simple. It's literally just the sound effects. It goes really well with the audio plugin. So maybe I'll bring it there and rename it to something more generic and add it to the auto load setup. So that's enhanced button, and enhanced button also has an extension script that's a script template where it just says, these are the functions that I'm overwriting. Let's call the super on them. So if I'm making a button and I want a pressed behavior, I would write it either before or after the super, but I'm not accidentally replacing it, which is like what's at risk here. And then I don't have to type out the name of the function. It's here, it's ready to go. Same with hover. If I wanted to do something on hover, if I wanted to do like a special highlight or an effect, it's ready to go and the sound is built in. And then enhanced panel, this is the other script that's pretty common for me. So this is just an extension of panel, and there's an export variable to set the shown scale, which is like the scale of the panel when it's fully visible. And then we have two animations, and this is, it's a class. So we have two animations. We have a show animation, which starts the scale at 0, then makes it visible, then adds a tween to scale it up with a nice little bounce. And then when it's finished, it plays a play panel show sound effect. And then with hide, it does basically the inverse. It plays the sound effect, it scales it down till it's 0, and then it makes it invisible, so it hides it. I can show you how this is all brought together into action now, but the idea is here basically just to have panels opening in a cute little animation instead of them just appearing on the screen. You can already see I have 23 counts because the save system is working as it should. So I had it just saving this count. I didn't have it saving any volume settings or anything else. I could do that, but that's just not how I have it set up right now. I don't know if you can hear that, but when I hover, it's making a little sound. And when I click, it will too. And then also the sound effect plays when it's opening, since all you can hear is it opening, probably because they come at the same time. I'll show you a different example. So these buses all got automatically added when the project started because these were the ones available. And you can see they're fully functional. And we're going to see the animation when the panel closes now. Another thing I could show really quick, if I add a new bus and call it like cool new bus, which is a really long name, so it's kind of risky. I think the layout is configured for its maximum length, so it might mess things up a little bit. Yeah, so you can see cool new bus here, the cool new bus on the block. So it just added just like that. There's nothing connected to it, so it's not going to do anything. But if I were to set up, maybe, I don't know, let's put the music on the cool new bus. There we go. And then we push play. Now you can see, well, master still works, of course. This slider is no longer controlling the music. And instead this one is. So yeah, it's that simple. All right, so that's it for me, and I hope you have a good one. Bye.